Thank you everyone for being here. And I'm going to start with our land acknowledgement. Before we begin, we believe it's important to open our meeting by acknowledging the indigenous land that we share. Pasadena College is a learning community within the indigenous homelands of people who have been known as the Aboriginal Band of Mission Indians of the Shishiaquanga Village and Quiche Nations. We acknowledge the painful history of genocide and forced removal from this land on which we gather. We honor all indigenous people, past, present, and future, and their continued survival and contributions to our society. We also honor the legacy of the African diaspora and recognize that this country would not exist without the free enslaved labor of Black people. We share these acknowledgments to raise awareness about histories that are too often erased or forgotten, to recognize our place in this history, and to affirm our commitment to social justice, systemic change, and anti-racism. Thank you. Okay, do we have any public comment, Dr. Rose?
Yes, we have two. The first one is Sean Lee.
Do I speak here? Where do I speak? Do I speak here?
Just stand for me.
Just right here? Hey, good morning. The North Korean president Kim Jong-un killed his brother several years ago before he took office because he's trying to silence all his political opponents. Same thing happened on our glorious president Gina Lopez. She muted all senators, that none of them are even allowed to have a public comment anymore. This is a really disgusting and a desperate political attack on the Brown Act and our constitutional freedom of speech. It seems like our little king, Gina Lopez, and our little queen, Amia Walker, no longer wants to hear any voice, any words, any comments outside of their inner circle, corrupt circle. This is really despicable. And then I asked Nadia about the Brown Act regarding why there's no longer video recording, video live streaming about this meeting. And then Nadia told me that because Brown Act doesn't require that. Well, the Brown Act, by definition, is trying to give all citizens a voice in the government policy-making process, regardless they support you, regardless if they against you. There are more than 75 million of legal voters voted for Trump in 2020. That means there are 75 million legal citizens are against Biden. I wonder why Biden does not silence all of the 75 million citizens. I wonder why Biden does not mute everybody's voice who actually actively against him on a regular basis. It is a disgusting move. It is against the traditional American democracy. It is against the traditional American value. It doesn't matter if you're Gina Lopez or if you're Amia Walker. Democracy, transparency, accountability is here to stay. They are not going anywhere. Silent majority can no longer be silent anymore because enough is enough. PCC is a prestige academic institution. This is not a political zoo for you to play around just for your own political propaganda. Get your disgusting political propaganda out of the PCC. It doesn't matter if you're the Board of Trustees or if you're the Academic Senate. Your number one priority is to serve the student and create a safe and a fair working environment for all faculty members. That means including part-time faculty members. Part-time faculty members account more than 2/3 of all faculty member population nationwide. And then they are the backbone of American higher education. Part-time faculty lives matter, part-time faculty lives matter, same way as your lives matter. And the part-time faculty require and must get equal work for equal pay. All part-time faculty members, please stand up together, united. You are so strong together. And then Mistress Shaganaka will always be your number one cheerleader.
Okay, at this point, well, we have another public comment?
Yes.
Okay,
Tamika Alexander.
Greetings, my name is Tamika Alexander. As you may recall, at the last Academic Senate meeting, Dr. Brenda Evilise, our Vice President of Student Services, reported out about the new AB 132. The new AB 132 guarantees admissions to recent high school students who were denied to the UC and the Cal State. And the deadline for students to opt into the CSU opportunity was September 30th. Well, I'm here to report that the numbers are in, and we, PCC, had 371 students to opt into the CSU Transfer Success Pathway. And what does that mean? PCC had the most applicants to opt in than any other community college in the state. Southwestern came in with 242 students. El Camino came in with 202. But I really wanted to come and thank our instructional faculty members who shared the information with students, who allowed transfer center staff to come and share this information, and divisions who went above and beyond for our students. So way to go, PCC. Thank you, faculty.
Thank you. Are there any other public comments? Okay, seeing none, what I'm gonna do at this point, I'm going to pause the meeting because we need to take care of some logistics very briefly. So I'm gonna ask for the senator's patience. We're gonna pause the meeting at this time. Thank you.
Yeah.
How's it going?
Thank you so much, and we actually do have one more public comment, and unfortunately, we went to the wrong place, but it was in at the right time. So,
Thank you. I would set up you guys, but I'll just project. So sorry, everybody, for sending it to the wrong. I thought I included everybody, and I'm so sorry about that. So it's my apologies. Only thing I wanted to say today was California recognizes the holiday observed on Friday, September 22nd as Native American Day. Some observe the second Monday of October as Indigenous Peoples' Day, which would be today. But on the federal level, it is observed as Columbus Day. So that's what you'll actually see on the calendar. There are groups that believe the name change for the holiday is important. Our college has recently been in line with reminding us that some students and employees may recognize this as an important day for their heritage or culture. So I just wanted to remind us all as faculty, if some of your students may miss or may ask for an extension due to that, just please keep that in mind.
okay, now we're on to approval of the minutes. I need a motion to approve the minutes. I'm sorry. Okay, so we're going to table that. I would like a motion to table it.
Motion.
Yes, Tracy?
Motion to table.
Motion to table, do I have a second? Dr. Stevens, second. Are there any objections to table the minutes, approval of the minutes until our next meeting?
I don't have an objection, but I did see it on the agenda. Is that what you're saying, that it was not kept?
It wasn't posted to board docs.
Oh, okay, got it.
Okay. So are there any objections to approving this by unanimous consent? Seeing none, we're going going to table the approval of the minutes, and we'll go on to our constituency reports, starting with PCCSA. Okay, because are you here representing PCCSA, Deborah? Okay, just a moment, go ahead, Dr. Rose.
Okay. I would like to make a motion to add to the agenda under consent items J, and I think it would be 3, because it's neither subcommittee nor hiring, to add Lenora Rogax from Social Behavioral Sciences as the accreditation self-study coordinator.
Do I have a second? Okay, so Carol, I'm sorry, my eyes are not together. Carol Curtis as the second. Are there any objections to approving this by unanimous consent? Seeing no objections, that motion passes, and we will add a letter J, number 3, for Lenora, and you need to have help me spell the last name. Rogax.
Rogacs.
Okay, and that's for what position?
Accreditation self-study coordinator.
Thank you. Okay. Now on to constituency reports, PCCSA.
Yes, hi everyone. So we hosted a meeting with the faculty, the Community Education Center, the CEC, this past Friday. We were able to address some of their concerns at the CEC. And our next shareholder meeting will be in the next 2 weeks. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for PCCSA? Okay, thank you, Bevel. And now we're on to adjunct faculty. Kathleen.
The only thing to report is that the Adjunct Faculty Issues Committee is still open, and I know I owe you guys a flyer that will be coming this week.
Okay, are there any questions for the adjunct faculty? Okay, next we have classified senate.
Good afternoon, everybody. I just wanted to say that since the last academic senate meeting, the classified senate has continued to grow with 3 new appointees since our last AS meeting. All attention right now is focused on our classified senate. Fall general meeting tomorrow in Westerbeck. Again, we really just focus this year on everybody who's interested, a chance to get involved in different ways, filling all our vacancies and standing committees, making sure that everybody's voice in shared governance. We're also working closely with the Office of HR and the Office of Professional and Organizational Development to review both our hiring and onboarding practices to try to further the college's goal of creating more equitable workplace.
Okay, are there any questions for our classified senate? Thank you very much, James. Next, we have associated students. Do we have a student rep here? We do not. Okay. Moving on to management association.
Nothing to report.
Okay, thank you, Matt. Any questions for management association? Okay, now we'll move on to our officers association. Our officers report, starting with me, president. We actually had a meeting with we met the faculty hiring priorities committee. We met and we have our top scores ready. I don't have them for you yet because we're still doing a final approval of ranking because we had a few questions that needed to be answered and we got those answered. So I'll come back to you with what the ranking is after we've met with the district. That's the end of my report. Vice President's report.
Yes, just really quick, thank you for all of you who signed up to fill in the committee positions. We appreciate you. Last thing I want to say is for our per AP 7250, 6.8, I'm sorry, 6.E, Academic Senate has to provide 2 faculty members for various hiring committees. And so just keep an eye out and please volunteer for these hiring committees or else we won't have a voice or an opinion on these hiring committees. There will be one going out today, so keep an eye out. And just so you know, if it seems like it's a short turnaround, I send them out as I get them. And so maybe it'll get to me on Friday and say, we need to know by Monday who's gonna join. I have no control over that. And so, that's all, just wanted to share that. And if you see something that you're interested in, just reply to the email that's sent out with the hiring committee request, and we will add your name to the list. Thank you.
Okay, is there a secretary's report?
Can we comment on her report?
I'm sorry, yes, you can. You
Okay,
have a question?
in the form of a question? It's a comment. Just for all the senators here, we haven't ratified at this time voting rights for adjuncts. But I can tell you that, speaking for myself and other colleagues that I know that would love to be a part of a hiring committee, when that does come to the table, I would hope you please keep that in your mind to vote for it for us. We want to be part of the process, we're part of the college. And adjunct faculty are faculty too. So thank you for listening.
Any other questions? Do we have a secretary's report?
Yes. As you have seen, there's already been a couple little confusions. A lot of that is because we get emails that are sent to our personal email, and this happens all the time, Carmen. And it has for years. It's just human nature. So people will reach out to individual members of the executive committee because they know what's better. That makes it very difficult for us to stay on top of committee appointments and requests for agenda items. So if you could please norm your constituents to always CC the Academic Senate at pasadena.edu email. That's a repository where we get all the information in one place, and it just makes us able to organize things much better and make sure everyone gets approved and on the agenda. So thank you.
I just want to add to that as well. If maybe you can tell your deans or
Yes.
because I get a lot from the deans and I forget stuff. So it's best if we have to make sure that it goes to the academic senate so it has more than just my eyes on it. Yes, Carmen.
Thank you. And when we send an email request or message to academic senate, will it just go to the board or does it go to all of us?
Just to the executive committee.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, any questions for our secretary? Okay. Do we have a treasurer's report? Yes.
So we have an increase of 67 cents for a total of $17,587.53. So it would really help us if you could, among your constituents, among your faculty, to please encourage them to donate to either the Academic Senate Fund, General Fund, or the Scholarship Fund. That helps us to pay for things like snacks and waters, books that we've ordered for you all, but also for our scholarship ceremony for our students. So even if it's just $1 per paycheck, it really helps us out. So thank you. And I have a QR code if you'd like to take that with you, but to make it even easier. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Any questions for our treasurer? Okay, now we're on to information items. We have a peer online course review by Lauren. Hey, her. Hi, how are you?
Hello, folks. I am here to present on peer online course review, also known as poker, which is how people here refer to it. Yes, there have been some jokes about that, so dealing people into the process and such. We'll just stick to the acronym for now. If you want to go ahead and navigate to this page yourself, if you just Google PCC poker, it'll pop up. If not, it is on the training part of the online website for PCC. So Peer Online Course Review is our local online course review process for our online courses. So basically there is a core of faculty who have been trained, and they're trained to review online courses and apply the CDC OEI rubric. So that stands for the California Virtual College Online Educational Initiative Course Design Rubric. So basically that was a rubric that was developed in 2014. It was revised, I believe, in 2018. And it's a really detailed rubric that can be applied to online classes, specifically looking for elements of course design and to make online courses that much more accessible and easy for students to use and understand. So the state had this peer online course review initiative. They went through a process of sort of putting the local colleges in charge of the process. We became certified in spring of last year, and now we're doing a big rollout and trying to get faculty to submit their courses to be reviewed. So you can find a lot of information here on the website. I did want to emphasize that this is a supportive and constructive process. So these faculty members who are going to be reviewing the courses have gone through training, and that's training to specifically provide constructive and collegial feedback. This process is not at all related to tenure or evaluations or anything like that. This is purely for professional development and to also improve the quality of online courses here at PCC. So why do POCR? Basically, peer online course review has lots of benefits, both for the faculty member and for students. So for the faculty member, you get connected to other faculty who have a lot of experience with online education. They can provide you with feedback and resources. You also get DE coordinators like myself helping you with your courses. So it connects you to a community that can provide support for online education. Sometimes you feel like we're laboring on our own. So this is one way to be connected to a network of people who can provide support. There is a small stipend if you align your course. So I'll talk a little bit more about the process in a minute, but essentially you get this review of your course using the CBC OEI rubric. There will be changes that we will suggest that you make in order to align with the rubric. If you align with the rubric and it's signed off, there's a $300 stipend for your labors. I do want to emphasize that that is funding we have this year. So we need to, if we can, pay it out this year. We don't know what's necessarily going to happen moving forward. So if this is something that's of interest to you, I definitely suggest getting your course in the queue right now while we have the funds to pay out. If you go through the process of alignment, your course will also get a quality review badge on the California Virtual College, the CVC. So PCC has joined the CVC, and so online courses automatically show up in that California Virtual College. And if your course is there and has open seats and you have this quality review badge, your course will go to the top of the search results. So basically students see that you have this special badge, that you've gone through this process, your course has been vetted, so they know they're getting a quality course, and it's shown through that badge. We also know, or at least we have an inkling, research has started to show that POCR really does have great benefits for students, particularly in terms of equity. So I did want to show you a bit about that. So we have not done our own research yet because of course we're just rolling out this whole local peer review process. But Chaffey College got on the bandwagon early with POCR, and they have had some really interesting and really promising results in terms of POCR review courses. So overall, there was a 14% increase in course success rates after POCR alignment. So they took a sampling of courses before POCR and then after POCR. Again, the sample size is not tremendous because we're talking about courses where the faculty member voluntarily goes through this rather rigorous process. So it is a smallish sample size, but still the results seem pretty promising. I also can show you the results disaggregated by the students, and we see that for particularly Black and multiracial students, particularly between 25 and 29 years of age, they saw even greater increases in success rates. So in general, this is just for the pre and post POCR stats that Chaffey had. And I believe this was from 2019 to 2022, if I'm correct. And if anybody wants to email me for the full study, I'm happy to share the information I have. But it shows a pretty significant increase for online courses post POCR, right? So in terms of success rates, and then here's that data that is disaggregated by different groups. So we really do think that there is a great reason, sorry, guys, can do the present mode. Bigger. So you can see that it really does have a meaningful impact for students in terms of their success rates. The CVC OEI rubric is really focused on course design. So I do want to emphasize that you're not getting people in your courses telling you that you should assign a different reading or commenting on content. The rubric is really focused on course design. Can students find the information they need to succeed? Can they find student services? Do they see grading criteria? That kind of thing. And so the rubric is really designed to help with the student experience. And that's really what it is focused on. Okay. Guys, I have only 5 minutes here, moving rather quickly. So the basic data there that I just referred to is shown here. But again, if anybody's interested in more in the full study, I'm happy to share. So the process, we hope, usually takes about 14 weeks. Again, we're had to go through a certification process that slowed some things down, but now we have a process that's pretty well established. Essentially, I'll show you where you can submit your information. We will contact you, meeting the DE coordinators will contact you, and we'll walk you through all the next steps. But the idea is that you would get a sort of empty course shell created where you would put in your online course. You'd have reviewers reviewing it. It's not a live course that's being reviewed.
I need a motion to extend this. Dr. Stevens?
Yes, extend by 5 minutes.
You have a second, Talene. Are there any objections to approving this by unanimous consent? Seeing none, you have additional questions.
Thank you. So you will have a sort of empty course shell where you will import over your online course to be reviewed. Students are not in that course. It's not a live course that students are interacting with. You'll complete a self-evaluation. Reviewers will be assigned. They'll review your course. You will be delivered the feedback from that review, and you'll work with your DE coordinator to implement that feedback, and then hopefully get your course fully aligned, and then you get your $300. So who is eligible? This is for faculty who teach online courses. This is peer online course review. We definitely are looking mostly for asynchronous courses, because that's really what the process is designed for. But if you have a fully built out synchronous course, then we can also talk and you could potentially go through the process as well. This is for student-ready courses, right? So this is a course that's fully built out, that's ready for students to engage with. So if you're starting to build a course and just have a few modules, this isn't probably ready for you yet. We want to see that full, robust course. And you should have had training to teach online before submitting your course for review. So how do you participate in POCR? There is the link here to the instructor application. So you can go ahead and click that, put in your basic information about your course, and we will be notified and we will reach out to you about next steps. We have our own Canvas course where we bring faculty in and you get step-by-step instructions of how to move through the process. And we try to provide you with lots of resources in that shell as well. Okay, any questions? Yes.
That's what I see that you girl. No, I'm just kidding. So I do have a couple of questions for y'all, but I'll just go for one and then others can share.
Sure.
So you mentioned that like it doesn't count towards like your tenure or anything like that, but who exactly gets the feedback? Just the faculty member? Does your dean get it? Does it go to HR?
It is just with you. So basically your course is assigned to several reviewers. But the DE coordinator, myself and Dr. Shadiak, we're like the intermediaries. So we, the reviewers, do the review, we compile the review feedback, and then we work with you to implement it. So no, there's not a broadcasting of the information, and it's only you, the reviewers, and the DE coordinators that are on that shell that you create. So it is meant to be a really customized, supportive, closed process. Yeah.
Great, okay.
Yes.
Is the stipend per course?
Yes, it is per course.
Any other questions?
And then I still have my next question.
Yes, Dr. Jones.
Thank you so much. You mentioned how the courses are getting certified for the CBC. Does this include universal design so that it's more appropriate for students?
So The CDC OEI rubric is broken down into 4 different sections, and accessibility is one of them. So section D is completely focused on accessibility, and the courses, in order to complete the POCR process, have to be fully accessible. So that is absolutely part of it. And a lot of the other elements of the rubric reinforce universal design as well. So it is definitely part and parcel with equity, accessibility, all of those.
Okay, so just one, okay, sorry. So once the people sign up to do, right, we have their course review, let's say you see common themes, right? Like, oh, everybody needs like this one section. Are you guys planning to use that to build like a frequently asked questions and workshops and trainings for all?
So we are building out this Canvas resource shop. And so right now, when a faculty member says they have an interest in putting their course through peer online course review, we put them into this Canvas shell. They give us some more information about their course, and they're led through more information about the rubric. You're going to hear me sort of giving you tutorials about certain sections. So we are trying to build resources to help faculty prepare their courses, because we assume that faculty who are opting in probably already have awesome online courses, but maybe they don't have all parts of the rubric figured out yet. It is a 19-page rubric, so it is extensive. So we do have information about different elements of the rubric and how you actually see that element expressed in the course, right? So suggesting things like having a course homepage and what should be on your course homepage. That's the kind of stuff that you can see in the resource shell. We also are hoping to roll out more PD, sort of college-wide, but you know, we just got certified in spring, so we're still rolling out.
One last question, because somebody else might have a question. How long do you guys? That's it. Thank you.
Are there any other questions?
Okay, then I need to extend it again.
I need to motion to extend.
All of them.
Okay, I saw Danielle's hand up for extend. You want a second, Dr. Harmon? Okay. Are there any objections to approve this by unanimous consent? Seeing none, it's an additional 5 minutes, and the next person up is Dr. Anita Walker.
So just really quick, faculty who participate in this, will they by any chance, be waived of any like future training, like, when we have to be recertified or whatever?
So we don't have any recertification plans yet. If there were to be a recertification plan, I would certainly advocate that this satisfy that, or at least be one way to satisfy recertification, but we don't have any specific plans yet.
Okay, thank you. Okay, my question is, I'm looking at the testimonial, so this is open to all faculty.
Adjuncts and full-time for everybody.
Yes.
We want quality online courses, so whoever wants to put their course in, we welcome you.
Are there any other questions? Yes, Danielle?
If your course requires a co-requisite or prerequisite, does that course have to already exist from an institution on this online college capacity? So like if you're teaching a class that has a prerequisite, does the class leading up to that class have to already be required for it to be implemented into this program?
To my knowledge, no, right? If you're teaching it at PCC and you're teaching it online, you can put it through POCR. We're not sort of staging it in a particular way. This is very much, again, driven by faculty who want to go through this process, and so we don't have any. We, as to my knowledge, are not taking, potential courses. So like, let's say if there was a course maybe you wanted to teach in the future, if it's not being taught, that's not where the emphasis is. We are looking for courses that are presently being actively taught.
Any other questions?
Okay, how about last one? How long will the class have to be updated once it's been reviewed? Like once the person gets the feedback? What were you guys recommending for kids?
So it's a really customized process. So in other words, how much time do you have to make the revisions? That is completely worked out between you and whoever you're working with in the process. So this is extremely customized, right? So basically the reviewers are going through, they will provide you feedback specific to your class, recommendations for your class. And I think one of the best parts of this is that it's very actionable feedback, right? Like you're given specific guidance about what you could potentially do to meet the rubric criteria. And then depending how much that you might want to fix, that may depend on how long it takes you to go through the process. So it's not a one size fits all, but if we can get it done for the semester, that's always great. Because we don't want it to take on too long, but it's definitely not super rigid in terms of time.
Okay, so, thank you very much. I think that's all we have.
Thank you. Close my windows.
Okay. Unless, did you have a question, Ryan? No? Ryan, did you have a question?
No.
Okay, thank you. All right. Next, we have Sharissa Czar for our calendar updates.
Is the attachment here?
No.
Just one second. Almost there.
Okay, hi everyone, I'm Sharice, your friendly neighborhood articulation officer, and today I'm here on behalf of the calendar committee to present the two drafts that we have for the 2026-27 academic year and the 2027-28 academic year. As the calendar committee, we need to create these drafts and vote on what we're going to recommend to the college council, who then votes on what they're going to recommend to the president and the board and so on and so forth. So what we decide is not the final, there are multiple levels of review, but we do need to get feedback from our constituents on what you all think for this first draft. So this is the one for 2026-27, and you have the highlighted, the campus closure dates highlighted in pink as they usually have been in the past. And you also have the dates of the start of each term circled. And the number of weeks of the term noted here on the side of each month. You all might notice that this is a newer format that we have our calendars in, that was updated based off of a lot of research that we did looking at calendars from other colleges and seeing what makes sense to have the most streamlined format. So we have the actual calendar on the first page with a different term in each column. And then you have the dates of the calendar on the second column. And as you'll see, we haven't fully filled out this portion because we're not done finalizing the start and end dates for the term. So the dates that you'll have for the first and last day of classes will be filled in once we have our final draft to forward to the college council. So here you'll see
We're proposing for the fall 2026 term to begin on August 24th. And then the winter term for 2027 to begin on January 4th. And spring term to begin on the February 22nd and summer on June 21st. This is including 16-week semesters, a 6-week winter intersession, and an 8-week summer session. Then for the 2027-28 calendar, we have same format with the fall start on the 23rd, the winter on the 3rd, and the spring and summer, the circles were not circled on this draft. But the spring beginning on the 22nd, where you'll see the week 1 right there, and summer beginning on June 20th. I do want to note that our co-chair Brian Wilbur did mention that there is a mistake in these drafts where there is a 10-week break between winter and spring, but that's intended to only be a 5-day break. So the winter ending on a Thursday and then spring beginning on that following Tuesday. So some of these dates will be pushed up for winter, specifically here on the 2027 spring. So this first day of the term should be on the 16th. So I don't know how this works as just an informational item to get feedback. I don't know what the executive board thinks I should do, if I can have a survey sent out or emails. But this is just a informational comments, concerns, questions that I can take back to the calendar committee.
Would you like to speak that now?
Yeah, does anybody have any feedback for now?
I'm just wondering what type of feedback you're looking for, like if we're upset about start dates or if we think anything's missing, what kind of feedback would you like?
Yeah, so anything really, but yeah, if there's something where you have concerns about the start dates or end dates, then sharing that feedback is something we can take into consideration when we're finalizing our draft.
Spring break is missing. That's super important.
So I think that is very important. Spring break is, yes, the dates have not been noted for spring break because the start and date have not, but it definitely will not be missing. Go ahead.
Yes, I'm sorry. Thank you. Just to kind of piggyback on what you were saying, when you send out the email for the feedback, can you make sure that we get the correct version of this so that?
So we're not gonna have a corrected version until at least our next meeting, which is next week. But I think that our goal is to have the calendar committee have a strong idea of what that draft is to forward to College Council by November. So this is happening pretty quickly. So I don't have access to create an updated version because the committee has to discuss the updated and cleaned up version. So I can talk to our chair to see if he can kind of push back his goal of forwarding to College Council by November and giving us at least 1 more month to work on it to bring back a clean draft. But whatever I do bring back will still be incomplete because we have to get our feedback to create that complete draft.
Or at least if you can send the email with your corrections, like you were saying, like the week that starts late here, just so that people know that you are aware of what some of those.
Okay, so just noting the corrections that need to be made, got it, okay.
Yes, Tony.
So I noticed that for this coming year and for the next 3 years, I know we can't change it, but for future ones, fall flex is the Friday. Motion to extend?
Motion to extend, a second by Jeff. Are there any objections to approving another 5 minutes by Ms. Wilson? Seeing none, have another 5 minutes.
So the first fall flex is the Friday before fall, but spring flex this coming year for the next 3 years is actually a couple of weeks into the spring semester. It's really challenging to have flex day the Friday before the semester begins. So I would encourage folks to talk in their disciplines, while it might be great for us, it's really challenging when the Friday before, we're trying to get students registered in classes, and it's really challenging to shut down a big arm of the campus in order to attend Flex. So a lot of times, many classified staff, especially in student services, cannot attend. Or a lot of times counselors sometimes are doing the thing that we shouldn't be doing, which is not serving students the Friday before classes. So perhaps calendar can discuss also having fall Flex not be the Friday before classes.
And that's something that I have advocated for myself, but I do know that the fall flex is tied to our contract. So it is something that we would have to advocate through the union first. The FA would need to update the contract to not require fall flex to be the Friday before the semester begins in order for the calendar committee to be able to schedule it on a different day during the semester.
So if that doesn't happen before November, does that mean for the 3 years later, it's not possible?
I don't have a concrete answer. I do know there have been instances where we've gone back and updated a calendar that was already approved by the board. We just did that last year with the addition of Juneteenth for the 2 academic years that were already set in place. So I can imagine that if it's a big change like that, it can go back, if it's a change in the contract.
Okay, I have Tracy, and Jose, and then Michelle.
Really, this is my clarification. In the past, when the calendar committee designs calendar and chooses dates for spring break, are they looking more somewhere in the center, or do they try to somewhere align it near or around Easter holiday?
I think it's time more with like midterms, and when is the best time for students and faculty to take a break, not necessarily tied to holidays.
Right, so it's more like looking at the halfway point then of the semester.
I don't know if it's exactly halfway, but it's, yeah.
Okay, Jose.
So, going back to having Flex Day before, the actual semester. In the math department, we offer classes on Fridays. So I was actually gonna go reverse. And if we have to listen on Fridays, that's going into our class time. I've been at PCC before when we've had, let's say, like on a Friday during the semester, and it just loses the day with our students. Plus all the Mondays that we have off, and all the other holidays in the semester. So that's, I just wanted to put that out.
Okay, Michelle.
I guess we're in the math department on the same page. A lot of our classes are Monday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, Thursday, and I was wondering, does the committee consider the count of those days when they're setting this? Because I've had semesters where you take a Monday and a Wednesday, or a Tuesday and Thursday, when I don't have 15 weeks to teach anymore. I have 14 weeks. And if we're having, almost 3-hour classes, that's a lot of time that we don't have to teach, and if you couple that with a class that happens every Friday, I mean, it just really makes it difficult on us as well as for the students you can't make a whole week. I mean, we're already pressed for time. So I don't know if you all consider that, because I'm looking here and it's like, okay, there's a Monday off and a Wednesday, there's a week gone. Then if there are more Mondays and more Wednesdays, or when you go on the earthquake day and then this day and then all the other days, we have no more days.
So Dr. Maris, correct me if I'm wrong, but the calendar committee does look at the hours, because we do have to have a set number of days offered in the schedule. So when we have these holidays and days that classes are not in session, it's accounted for in having that max hour or max number of days we're supposed to have in the semester. Now, as far as whether a holiday lands on a certain given day, and we don't, the calendar committee doesn't have control over that. If it's a holiday that falls on a weekend, I think by law we have to do it. We have to observe it on the Monday or the Friday of that weekend. So we're tied with when the holidays are, but the overall number of scheduled days in the semester are accounted for when we're considering the holidays.
You're right, and we do have to have a minimum of 175 for the year. The other thing that we can and have done is look at the instructional minutes. That's actually what we have to account for. So that's why you'll notice some classes may be scheduled for 3 hours and 10 minutes, and some are maybe scheduled for 3 hours and 20 minutes. It has to do with meeting the instructional minutes for the semester. But I mean, that's something we need to get back to the committee.
Okay, are there any other questions? Okay. Thanks, everyone. Next, we have program review cycle process by our very own Dr.
Switch over.
Everyone, I'm here for the IEC. I'm the co-chair of the IEC committee. And so we want to give you an update of what's going on with comprehensive program review. So how many of you use TestStream? Raise your hand. Okay, a couple. How many of you hated it? Everyone, even people that didn't use it hated it. So guess what? We're not using TestStream anymore. We're going to Anthology, so we're really excited about that. So you're going to see a new program review on Anthology. And what was great about that was that that allowed our committee last year to do a change to the structure of program review. So by having this change of structure, it really gave us a chance to talk about what should program review be about. One of the things we thought about was how many program reviews certain areas we're doing, like career technical degrees versus areas that don't have degrees. So we wanted to really focus on departments and departments instead of degrees, and so we'll show you how that works. We want on Anthology, you're going to see, how many of you did your annual updates last year on Anthology? And did you find it fairly easy to use? Any comment? Well, it's definitely going to be, but you guys are like, come on, you're like my students, I want you to a little bit excited. So we're definitely seeing that it's a lot easier to input data. It's a lot easier to drag graphs in. So for program review, it's going to be making evidence much easier to put in there. And then to put metrics. So we're going to have metrics right in Anthology, so you'll see what the reviewers are thinking about each area, which will be very nice. The focus of the reviews, as I said, has changed so this is kind of, I'm not going to go through it, but this is what the program review looks like for the different areas. So it's what you've seen, but the one thing that may be different to you that I'm very excited about is we've added for evaluation that we're looking at equity, diversity, inclusion, and belonging. So we really are looking at the college missions in terms of our programming. And then we're looking also, of course, at enrollment, demand, personnel, programmatic effectiveness, and things you've seen before, assessment. The other thing that the IEC is doing is we're working very closely with the student learning outcomes to really think about program learning outcomes. So we're working with them very much to develop that for program review. So who will be doing the reviews? It will be whoever the dean tells us to program into Anthology. So your deans probably have done that. The order in which it'll be done is based on career communities. So we really thought about how should we do this since our campus is really looking at career communities, why not make our program reviews related to career communities? The other thing we've done is instead of having, so before divisions would have to do program review like years after the program actually did their review, so why not do it at the same time? So as the career community is doing their program review, whatever department that is, the division office will also be doing its program review in concert. And so that division program review will be based on the function and services provided, and institutional support and resources and accountability. So it'll be really, sharing the pain with your administrator of program review, or the joy of program review, however you see it. When will the reviews be completed? So year one,
I need a motion to extend. Russ, I saw your hand first. Motion to extend by 5 minutes. Okay, and then I have a second. I'm so sorry. Okay, second. Are there any? Yes. Okay. Are there any objections to approving this by unanimous consent? Seeing none, you have another 5 minutes.
Thank you. So year one, we're gonna have, we started with kind of the career tech program, so business and industry and health and wellness. Then year two is the social and behavioral sciences. Year three is STEM, arts, communication, design. And then year four is the non-credit and programs, non-instructional units and such. And if you go to the website, you'll see it all nicely laid out. So we do have a really nice program review website. So participants, as I said, we basically asked the division deans to tell us who should be on anthology. So they have that. We are unfortunately still looking for some members for our IAC committee. I don't know why, it's so much fun. It's on Zoom, it's only 1 hour. So I don't know why we're not getting people, but if you are looking for a spot on the IAC, we still have one. Since James is here, I'm like, we still need one classified Senate rep. And then we need a double, right? Who do we need? We need a CTE rep for, sorry, I'm going blind, so. Languages, NESL, performing and communication arts, bands, and the CTE appointment. We only need that one for 1 semester because Mark Keene will come back to us because it's so much fun. He doesn't want to leave us for good. So when are our meetings? Our meetings are kind of first and third Fridays. Again, 1 hour on Zoom, so not too much. That was all from us. Any questions?
Any questions for Dr. Aramito? Okay, seeing none.
Okay, thank you guys.
Okay, next we have a student services update from Dr. Evelise.
Is the PowerPoint at the bottom?
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Brenda Yodes, VP of Services. Good afternoon. We have had an increase of about 425 referrals. So thank you to all the faculty. What this means is last year, this is referrals for counselors and success coaches to follow up. So it is a faculty member saying, hey, I'm concerned about the student, they're not submitting homework, or something else is happening, they submit this. Last fall, we had 158, just total 158, which is great, good start. But so far, we have had 671. So, movement's happening. We are following up, and we wanted to just thank you all for doing those referrals. We will be reporting back out towards the end of the semester on what type of referrals, right? This just gives you a quick snapshot. Referrals are going up, fantastic, but what really are they about? And what are we doing about it? So we'll be sharing out what those are towards the end of the semester, beginning of the next. Next one is, we have an HSI workshop that's coming up the 13th, Friday. Friday 13th? All right. That caught me off guard. I was like, okay, 11:30 to 1. It will be, there is a YouTube link so you can, if you're not able to participate. But we are a Hispanic serving institution. We just received notice that we have another Title V grant that was awarded to us. It's called Upreach. For us, it's intentional outreach and inreach for our Latina students, and helping us with increasing enrollment, retention, persistence, all those pieces. So we'll be sharing out on that. But really, what does it mean to be a Hispanic serving institution? This workshop will be talking about that. University Day, last Wednesday, the Transfer Center and its fabulous team. If you were here on Wednesday and you weren't teaching, you were here and you were walking around campus, you would have seen hundreds and hundreds of students. It was University Day. We had over 100 representatives, and we had 1,135 students that signed into PCC Connect. Why is that important? Helps us another data point that we can follow up with our students and let them know they know their interests and we can support them. So that is an actual photo of the event. You can talk about our later. Okay. One of the students said that hey, they didn't even have class when they came by because of the event. And representatives from like Columbia University, for example, said this was the best event they've been to. Hundreds of students stopped by. So thank you. I walked by several times, and it was really great to see students leaning in. Getting excited about the next step. So thank you for that. For those that supported and notified folks in their classes, thank you for that as well. Here's some great photos of the, oops, let me go back. Pretty. Big photo. We also have another event, October 24th. It's 4 to 6. It's our HBCU caravan. Encourage you to come out, support, or stay. For folks that have classes with faculty that are teaching during that time or have classes that are around that time, encouraging your students to attend. Free food, scholarships, on-the-spot admissions. Come on, folks, let's get our students into their next step as well, okay? Let's see, and then for City of Hope, we're collecting, not us, but the City of Hope is requesting that you donate blood for City of Hope patients. And so this is another reminder. We'll share this out with folks so you have it easy and you can share it. We have a free flu shot clinic. The PCC Student Health Nursing Division will be offering that October 17th, so next week. And it's at the Foothill campus. So it's only walk-ins, and you have to be at least 9 years old. Got it? Then the other one we wanted to highlight was our student health center about getting tested, chat care. It's confidential rapid HIV testing, trauma-informed counseling, etc. It's a resource, it's a connection, a partnership that we have, and so we encourage students to access that as well. And finally, student health. Jeff?
Motion to extend by 5 minutes.
Okay, second by Dr. Stevens. Yes. Are there any objections to approving this by unanimous consent? Seeing none.
Thank you. Last one is we have student health services fair, a health fair that's coming up again next week. The flu shot clinic also, this one will be on the main campus or Colorado campus in the quad. We'll have a safety fair, and so just encouraging folks to come out, free HIV testing, etc. So, health fair, again, a little bit more information. This was specifically at the Foothill campus, so we're going to be doing multiple things all over the district, which is exciting. We encourage you to let your students know. That's all we have.
Okay, do we have any questions? Yes, Danielle and then Michelle.
The upcoming health fair, does that replace the health fair that was traditionally done in the springtime? Is it a separate?
It's a separate
event?
Yes. It's a separate event.
Okay, and Michelle?
Chat care.
Chat Care, it is an organization that supports our students. Let me pull up, let me go back to it. It is a organization that's inclusive of all our students. And so they do, they work together to support the sexual well-being of our students. So they provide condoms, lube, HIV testing, all those things. It's really important to let students know of all the types of resources that we have, and allow them to make the choice of, what makes sense for them in their own bodies. Was that highlighted?
Yes, because you're saying it's on the 17th, but then I'm saying the 18th. So the 7th, you're focused on the CDC, you're saying it was on the 17th, but our campus is on the 18th.
Okay, thank you, sorry, let's clarify that. So there is three events, right? October 17th at Foothill, 18th and 19th will be on Colorado. Thank you.
Yes. If we refer students for like a success coach, how long until the student is contacted?
I can answer that. Yeah. So I'm the PCC Connect faculty lead, so please always reach out if you have any questions. And also, Ms. Bull, our classified Senate president, is one of the retention specialists who oversees the coaches. So our commitment is to a 7-day turnaround. So because the success coaches are 20-hour part-time employees, most of them only work 3 days a week. So that's kind of the fastest we can get to. And the coaches try to have 3 different outreach attempts by different communication methods before closing a referral out. And you should be able to see notes in PCC Connect to find out what happened during those outreach attempts and or meeting between the student and success coach. Any other questions?
Yes. What would you say is one of the main goals of the referrals that you want to find through kind of tracking the numbers?
Honestly, it's retention for me. That we notice that the student understands that they're cared for, and if they're stuck with something, whether it's they don't realize there's tutoring, or they need DSPS services, etc., that they're aware of the resources, and that leads to them continuing on with us. A lot of students will just leave and not return, and we want to catch them. We want to create that notice.
So essentially kind of accountability of what the students request.
Yes. Okay, any other questions? Seeing none, thank you so much, everybody. And now we have a Vice President of Instruction, Dr. Laura Ramirez, with an update.
Hi, everyone. So just a few updates this weekend. We had the auditions for the Tournament of Roses Parade. We had over 290 students here. So I want to thank our department, PCA, the faculty, the staff, and administration for really supporting our students and the whole process. It's a big, big production. You may have received an invitation from Vice President Jones to participate in a Zoom meeting to provide updates on the W building transition. If you have not, definitely reach out, let me know, let her know. So there'll be a lot of more information coming about that. The winter schedule.
Can you repeat the name? I'm sorry, before you move on, I don't want to forget. Who did you say reach out to besides you?
Myself or Vice President Jones.
Thank you, sorry.
The winter schedule is out. It's intentional that we try to get it out as early as possible. Registration starts on October 30th. So please let your students know that the schedule's available. If they have questions, anything you can do to support them, reach out to counseling, anything you can do to get our enrollment numbers up. We're doing really well. We're about halfway through our goal, 21,000 FTS. I'm very positive that we're going to make it, if not even go past that. And just so that you all know, our pre-pandemic numbers are a little over 23,000 FTS. So we are definitely moving in the right direction. And of course, we know it's because of our faculty, right? That's why students come here. So thank you all for that. And then we just got approved today, just a few minutes ago, the Chancellor's Office approved our Data Science Certificate of Achievement and our associate degree. So yay. Everything from our faculty, the curriculum committee, our articulation officer, it's a big deal for us. We have the dedication of the Jack Scott building on Thursday, so we're excited to see that. That'll be a really nice event. And then the announcement for the Dean of Kinesiology is out. It'll be a 4-week period, so we're starting the process on that hire as well. And I'm hoping that next meeting we'll be able to share a little bit more on our strategic enrollment management plan and what that entails, some of the things we're already doing to help with enrollment and how we foresee moving forward. Any questions?
Okay. See you. Thank you. Okay, now we're on to old business. And we have Christopher Ross. I think they're all you. Yeah. These are second reads and potentially possible actions.
Hello. You all good? Excellent. Did you find the videos in this room?
Yes.
Yeah, right. So I'm starting with CP 7330, communicable diseases. Do you have any questions that I can answer or comments?
Do you have a list of the diseases, the communicable diseases, that you're most concerned with?
No, I don't have any.
Not you personally, but it was written because it's something that the college wants to track and have a record of in a personnel file.
No, I don't think that's the intention. I think what we're trying to do is prepare for any sort of future situation where we encounter a communicable disease that we need to address. We didn't have anything written anywhere when COVID-19 came upon us, so in hindsight, we thought maybe we should have something in place.
Is it similar to like having like a vaccine card?
No, not at all. You know, if you read the AP, we give a lot of leeway on the actual, it says may everywhere, the district may, and we would always do that in conjunction, as we did before, with the PFA or who's ever representing the constituent groups. So that was always in consultation with them.
Yes.
We got a lot of suggestions in our department concerning this. Particularly from Barry Chest, one of our colleagues who is a microbiologist. And he suggested that there be some wording in there that we follow the guidelines of the health department of the city of Pasadena with regard to these things, whether it's specific, contagious diseases or some new outbreak or some policy regarding, I don't know, vaccination, masking, distancing, etc. But then we align ourselves with them because we are in their jurisdiction anyway.
We actually have that language in the AP. It says that the vaccination requirement may remain in effect during a public health emergency as determined by objective criteria such as the local, state, or federal declaration or other criteria such as incident rates of communicable diseases in the community.
Yeah, it just seemed like if we align ourselves specifically with the city of Pasadena, it would be clearer, because that allows you to align with anybody.
Sure.
This would be specific, and we could then say, yeah, we're doing that, we're not.
Yeah, that's great. I can put that language in there if you like.
It's just a
Catherine?
Yes, I believe a word was left out on the second line. It
You are
says-
correct.
Yeah.
In one version it has it, in the other doesn't. And you're talking about the word disease is after communicable, yes?
Yes.
Sorry about that. And you probably were wondering what we were being communicable about. Sorry, very sorry.
Anyone else? Okay. Yes.
Sorry, I would move to postpone consideration of this until we can get the wording the way that the microbiologist might have suggested.
I'm fine with that. Could you ask Barry to get in touch with me if he has something special he would like?
Absolutely.
That'd be awesome, thank you.
Okay, was that a motion?
Yeah, that was.
She just said.
Jordan's point of information. Dr. Bernard asked for a motion to postpone, but we didn't have a motion to approve on the floor. Do we need a motion to postpone if there's no motion to approve?
You can move to postpone this, decide.
To table or to postpone?
Yeah, you can either table, to a certain date, so if you want the next academic senate meeting, you can table it to that date.
I mean, depending on how long it takes for that to happen, I would just say postpone to a later date.
I hear what Dr. Rose is saying. She's saying if we don't make any move on this, then we still won't have, we don't have to postpone. So if you withdrew your motion, and nobody motioned for us to vote on this, then it would have to come back in.
Okay, sure.
Okay? So are you withdrawing your motion?
Sure, yeah, as long as nobody's motioning.
Yes, nobody does. Okay.
Thank you.
Just time.
Okay, so we'll come back to that in the third reading.
No worries. So the next one is some current policies we did some revisions to. It's 7335 health examinations. There is no longer a health examination requirement for academic faculty, so we took that out of the wording. And we also worded it so it's position specific for employees who need to have health examined for the work that they're doing for health and safety and welfare. That's what we did in the policy. Any questions about that?
Yes, Jeff?
The third paragraph down, the last sentence says, the list of positions designated as having physical demands is maintained in human resources, but I'm just wondering, do the departments have any sort of say in the determination of which positions are requiring, or is it just HR?
Well, when a job description is developed, it's developed by the department and they would put that in the job description.
Okay, any other questions about the policy? Yes,
Question. So this is for employees. What about students that maybe taking a class where they have to maybe be physically able to lift items, like some of the CTE courses? Would that be a separate policy?
Yeah, that's an excellent question, but it's not covered by this particular BP or APs.
Okay.
Sure. So the AP is similar, just taking out the language that talks about the requirement for faculty to have health examinations. And it's just a little more detailed about the rights of the district to end the conditions of employment or continuation thereof for health standards. We didn't change too much in here. The big thing we did was took out the last part of it, which is on tuberculosis, and put it in a separate AP so that if you are looking for the tuberculosis certification requirement, it's in a separate AP and you can find it easier. And that is this one, AP 7336.
Okay, are there any questions on the AP? Okay, then I'm looking for a motion to approve.
Move to approve.
Okay, that's Carol Curtis, and I have a second by Margaret. Sorry, guys. By Margaret, are there any? Let me see. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? I say abstain. So we have one abstention by Dr. Bernardo. And this is approved. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
I know, I'm still here. I know. So this next one is 7800, which is faculty exchange. As you can see, this has not been updated since 1985, and technically the language in Ed Code Title V really hasn't changed very much, but we just kind of updated it to give it a more current feel, just by adding language that seemed more understandable. So this is about the ability of faculty to enter into an exchange program with another, and we listed out in the AP, I can like pop that up for you. And yes, I got the change, and thank you very much, with accredited colleges, universities, business and industries, government agencies, and other organizations. I know, see, I'm trainable. So, it just talked about that. What we did do in this one is we took out all the language at the end that we couldn't figure out what it meant, or that we thought didn't apply anymore, and just try to keep it as simple as possible. So I'm gonna guess that there's a fair amount of you who didn't even know this existed, but we wanted to make sure that you did. And this is still a current in ed code, so if you're ever interested in doing an exchange, please feel free to investigate. It sounds like fun to me. This is only open to faculty. Did I screw something up?
No, I have a question.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's great.
Sorry.
Secondly, thanks for making changes, Crystal, I appreciate it. Since it's the superintendent president's ultimate decision, I just wonder, why is it then the dean's responsibility to indicate if it's not approved? I don't know, I just feel like why push it down to the middle manager? I know the president's busy, but at least the direct conversation.
Maybe they thought it would sound better coming from Dean. I didn't write this piece, so I don't really know. I thought maybe they thought maybe they had more of a relationship. So a dean to a faculty member probably is a stronger relationship than a superintendent to a faculty member.
It is, but then would it be made clear that it wasn't the dean's decision, they're just sort of the messenger?
I'm pretty sure that, and at least it's my hope, that the superintendent president would make this decision in consultation with the dean. So it wouldn't be like overruling the dean, there'd be a conversation and they did it together. I can't guarantee that, but that's my hope.
Okay, just don't want the dean to necessarily be the bad person, and that's all.
Me either.
They have to feel a lot anyway.
Okay. Yes, I have a point of information. So, did we skip the certification of freedom from TD? Or was that approved? Because it looks like that's supposed to come after number 2 health exams. And so now we're at faculty exchange, so I'm just trying to figure out what it was that we just used.
We could go back to it. I mentioned it.
I was wondering.
I talked about it because I said that was part of what we did in 7235 is we separated out the tuberculosis certification into a separate AP, 7236. But I'm more than happy to go back and look at that one too.
So was the motion to approve?
Motion was to approve
Health
7335.
So we could go back to 7336. I'm happy to. Did you want to finish exchange first, or did you want to go right back? Okay.
Thank you for catching it up.
There we go.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's okay.
Motion to approve the exchange.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, I thought there were more questions. Sorry, just leave it to Will. Okay, is there a second? Margaret has a second. Are there any discussion? Yes, Dr. Martin.
So I thought I had seen somewhere where it says faculty exchange, because up here, I think I'm looking at the AP 7800 and it still says academic employee exchange, or which wording we're beginning.
I will probably change both of them to faculty exchange. So the VP and the AP will read the same.
Any other discussion? Okay, we have a motion on, oh, yes.
I have a question, and maybe I just missed it in this one, but what is the faculty member's option to appeal? And my second one is, in the incident, like currently, we have summer where we have a president meeting, and then we have an interim, or we have a VP temporarily in that position, would it still be the same person, position title making that decision, or does it then fall to like the VP?
I'm gonna say it always, because we'll always have a superintendent president, or we'll have an acting one, or an interim one. So we'll always fall to that position. That's an excellent question. Thank you.
Okay, any other discussion?
Question. Sorry.
Yes, Danielle.
Do you want to be an example of a designee besides the superintendent president?
It's usually the vice, in this case, it would be the vice president of instruction.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor, and that motion,
I'm sorry, I had a two-part question.
You did.
So the first part was about what if the faculty member is denied, maybe like I said, maybe I missed it, the option or the instructions for them to be able to appeal or have further discussion.
Yeah, they didn't put an appeal process in this, but that doesn't mean you couldn't ask for one.
Oh, I'm being rude. I'm kidding.
But I just want to make sure we understand what this AP and VP is about. It's an exchange. So you have to go find someone, to come in and be here. So it's not you just go in somewhere, somebody's got to come here too.
okay. There's a motion on the floor, the motion is to approve. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Okay, and are there any abstentions? Okay, so we have one nay and one abstention. The abstention is Dr. Bernardo, and the nay was Dr. Stevens. Okay.
Okay, so we're back to certification of freedom from tuberculosis. Thoughts?
I have a question. I'm confused. So is this just like an addendum to the previous policy, or are we voting on this? Is this a read? What is this exactly?
This is the second read.
Second read for
And
this.
since this is the second read, this is where you can ask your questions, we can have our discussion, or we can wait, have a motion and then do the discussion. Yes, I can see, yeah.
Question about the type of test that's acceptable, or, I guess I don't see the word, but attestation, basically. So during the pandemic, a lot of us who were up for a renewal of this certification, because of the pandemic, we were called by like someone in student health services, asked a few questions, and then that allowed us to recertify. And I'm just wondering if that's still part of this process, or if that's been overridden now that we're past a emergency pandemic phase.
I just did it last week. It is still definitely part of the process. It was a lovely phone conversation.
Okay, so that still allows us to
Yeah.
do a phone certification
Yes.
rather than being stuck by needles or x-rays?
Exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
that was my question,
Yeah,
thank you.
it's actually written in here that you can do
Can you
the
tell
risk
me what
assessment.
line that is, or where is that? 'Cause I was looking for that, I couldn't find it.
So it says, it's like in the AP, it's the 1, 2, 3, 4 paragraph. Therefore, employees who are skin test negative or were not tested because of a lack of risk factors are required to undergo the foregoing tuberculosis risk assessment. That's what we did.
Okay, I was looking at the last line of the first paragraph where it says the examination shall consist of just either the x-ray or the intradermal tuberculin test. So that doesn't include the,
That's only if you have that before you start, you do the test and then you test positive, and then when you come up 4 years later, they'll probably make you do the test again, but if you tested negative, then they're just gonna do the risk assessment.
you continue on the cycle of the phone call as long as you don't catch TB.
Good,
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you.
Good question, thank you for that.
Yes, Russ.
I'd like the motion to approve.
Okay, I have a motion to approve and a second, I will say. Okay, is there any further discussion? Okay, seeing none. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. Was there a nay? Are there any abstentions? Okay, Dr. Bernardo abstains. And that means we are approved. Thank you.
Great, thank you, everyone, appreciate your time.
Okay, now we're on to new business, and that is AP 5925, recognition of student achievement by Dr. Sheila Rose. This is the first read.
Hello,
So I'm not sure if our new senators all know that the Student Success Committee has a subgroup that looks at all of our student-facing policies through an equity lens. We have equity-minding guiding questions for policy review. And so the most recent policy that we looked at was recognition for student achievement. So this is really about honors that students can earn. The biggest change here is honors at entrance. In all my years here, I never knew this ever was a thing. It turns out that it is a scholarship currently housed in the foundation. So there's no kind of awarding of any official honors like the Dean's List or valedictorian or being a member of Alpha Gamma Sigma, which is noted on students' transcripts at the time of transfer. But there is an opportunity, which is why I wanted to highlight this to you, for your students to apply for a scholarship from the foundation if they enter our campus with a 3.5 GPA or above. And they would attend these scholarship trainings that are also hosted by Chris McPeak from the foundation in order to learn how to apply for this cash scholarship. So we're removing it from the kind of official list of recognition for student achievement, but we do want your students to know this is a financial scholarship opportunity. The only other major changes, we removed this language about courses in the 400 series not counting towards a Dean's Honors List as a result of Assembly Bill 705, which eliminated non-transfer level courses in math and English. We only have, I believe, one 400 level class left on campus, and that is our lowest level credit English as a second language class. And because English as a second language is equivalent to a foreign language for those students, and foreign languages count towards honors, it didn't make sense to the committee to exclude those students from potentially earning honors. And also this language about 400 was removed in 2 spaces. And then under Alpha Gamma Sigma, just a little bit of language cleanup. We do, as part of our process, reword anything that might not be clear to students. So we changed scholarship to academic achievement because scholarship has multiple meanings. And of course, always updating our old policies to note that things are on the website, right? Students are not going to have to physically walk to counseling services in order to learn about the membership requirements of Alpha Gamma Sigma. They are a little bit varied, so all of our club information is on Lancer Life. So students would need to go in there and look at the bylaws. We're gonna try and make that a little more forward-facing on the website when we make changes there. So I believe that is everything. Any questions? Tracy and then Michelle, and then.
Under the Alpha Gamma Sigma, where you've changed it from scholarship to academic achievement, was it previously scholarship because there was a financial gift to the student?
No, it was
Okay.
using that other meaning of scholarship that's like being a scholarly person.
Okay, okay, I get it, okay, thank you.
Of course.
Did I miss why you were taking number 1 out?
Yes. Yeah, let me clarify that. Thank you. So honors at entrance is not an official designation of honors from the college that would be reported anywhere, like Dean's Honors, valedictorian, Alpha Gamma Sigma, those are reported on a transcript. Honors at entrance is a financial scholarship, but it is never going to be listed on a transcript, so it didn't fit in the category of recognition for student achievement. But we do want faculty to know about it so they can encourage students to apply for that scholarship if they did have a 3.5 when they started here at PCC.
And again, it's a recognition, it's not they don't get any cash.
No, it's cash.
That one is cash?
Yes,
Okay.
it's run by the foundation and it is a cash
okay.
award.
No, I think that's great. If I could just say something, my daughter recently graduated, well, it was 2 years ago from Notre Dame, and her best friend didn't get into USC. There was something where she kind of had to like wait a year. So she came to PCC. She was an excellent student. So I think that, you know, students are going that route, and we could capture some of those amazing students and say, hey, you have a 4.0 in blah, 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 blah. Why don't you consider doing your 2 years here with us and then going to wherever it is we're planning on going? And I think that would also be a nice recognition as well as a financial incentive to maybe get some of those students to our college.
Okay, we're out of time. I need a motion to extend.
Thanks.
I see Mariah is motion to extend, and then Tony is a second. Are there any objections to approving this by unanimous consent? Okay, so all in favor say aye. Okay. This is bad. I'm sorry, you're gonna answer. Oh, I didn't hear a question. But I
It was
agree.
more, it was a statement, just to, it was a great idea, and I think we should try to encourage students to come to us. do their
Yes, I
careers.
wish I had seen this policy because by summer college one, almost all of them were honor students. And so most of them would have qualified, so.
Yeah.
So regarding number 2, non-credit students in the adult high school diploma program do take classes for a grade. We don't have units, but they are credits that count towards getting that secondary credential. So my question is, would they be included in this recognition?
I would need a counselor to help me. So I can take it back, this is a first read, so I can take that back to the policy group and get clarification, because we do work with admissions and records and in revising these policies. So I'll bring that back as a question.
And I'm sorry, Lily, I'm asking you, I'm not bad.
Okay.
Okay, are there, yes, tell me.
Are the types of honors determined by ed code, or are they homegrown?
I believe these are ed code, but again, I will have to find that out.
So I wonder if it's possible to have a homegrown version. What about ones for those that are enrolled consistently part-time? I mean, a lot of our students are part-time for various reasons, and they still are stellar academically, but because they can't enroll full-time, then they're not able to get the distinction of some type of honors when they're at 10 units or 6 units consistently because of everything. So it's almost like, I'm so sorry you're a great student, but we'll never really recognize that on the transcript. So I would ask the Student Success Committee to consider creating something where maybe it's not Dean's honors, maybe it's President's honors, or maybe it's somebody else's honors, to also honor those students that are achieving that, but at a under 12 unit level.
Yeah, let me double check with Crystal Colross in her office to make sure that everything codified in ed code is squared away, but I love that idea. Dr. Walker.
Or we could remove the units. Yeah, why not?
If that's not, if it's not designated in ed code that it has to be a set unit, if we could just remove that, maybe possibly, so it could be full-time or.
Yeah,
Let me find out.
okay. Or like 3 unit minimum or some, I don't know, like.
Again, this is a first read, so she will be coming back with this. Are there any other questions or feedback? Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Rose. Okay, now we're on to consent items, and I'm going to request for that we approve item J, 1A through H as a block. But I would need someone to motion for that. Yes, Catherine?
Make a motion to approve all as a block.
Okay, is there a second? I have Kristen as a second. Are there any? Is there any discussion? Yes, Dr. Sherman.
Why only A through H, because there's an I and a second?
Oh, I'm looking at a hard copy.
Yeah, one Dr. A, but I think it was supposed to be J.
There's an extra A.
So item A through J. Thank you for catching that.
That's the J.
So Catherine, can you amend to include item number J?
I will amend my motion to approve items A through J, or A, for the last as a block, either or.
Okay, and we have a second, so, thank you. So, is there any discussion on this? Okay, seeing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Are there any abstentions? Okay. So we have number 2 that we added to, at the beginning of the meeting, and that is for Lenora. Sorry, there's subcommittee Ben Henry, Ben Lenora. Oh, we don't, okay. Well, let's just do it. Okay. So, item number 3, Lenora, I can't remember what's her name? Rogax, for accreditation self-study coordinator. I need a motion to approve. Yes, Carol Curtis has a motion to approve, correct? Is there a second? Christine Cass is a second. Are there any objections to approving this by unanimous consent? Okay, so with that, in that case, all those in favor, say aye. Aye. All those opposed, say nay. Nay. Okay, I have, is that a nay for real? Okay, so Dr. Bernardo is a nay. Are there any abstentions?
I abstain.
And Tracy abstains. Are you abstaining? And Michelle Ingram abstains as well. I'm reading it out for the record. So that passes. So thank you so much. Now we're on to future agenda items. Yes. I'd like to make a motion to rescind the vote on approval of faculty to subcommittees from the last meeting. If it's already been approved, we can't do that. I just confirmed. A motion to rescind something that has already been approved, not reconsider, it's not reconsider, it's motion to rescind. I just checked with our parliamentarian and the answer is no. It's already been approved. Okay, next item, which is proposed future agenda items. Are there any? Okay, seeing none, I have a future agenda item. yes. I would like to discuss with the, academic senate, the, ethical, the ethical ramifications of executive board members serving on their own elections committees. Okay. Okay, I think that's it. Announcements. Do we have any announcements? Okay, then I'm ready for a motion to adjourn. Yes,
I'd like to
Russ.
make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you. Do I have a second from Kristen? If there are no objections, we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Right.